Hello, I had a bit of an abstract art session yesterday. I was playing around with my new Pastel Tempera paint sticks, plus my original ones, and lots of watercolours. It ended up being quite a frustrating session and I didn't really like the paintings that I'd done. So I ended up adding lots more details to them with coloured pencils and Neocolor 2s, then cutting them up to make more of these little squares, which I'll turn into cards. I'll just show you the ones that I came up with. So these are the ones I did, and they're not too bad for cards. I've shown these in some previous videos. Little mini artworks framed in an Aperture card. So it wasn't a total wasted session, but I've still got lots of these scraps left over. So I wondered if I can use the same principle of taking a smaller section of an abstract art painting and using it for something else, only this time doing it on an even smaller scale. I've got this square hole punch, which I showed in an art haul video a while back. And I was curious to see if it would cut out this watercolour paper. And happily it does. So what I'm going to do is cut out lots of smaller little squares. These are 1 inch. And then maybe make some cards that have got, say, 3 by 3 on the front of them. So I'm just going to go through now and cut a load of these little squares out. I've pulled off the plastic guard that was on the back of the punches. It just makes seeing them a lot easier. It's just really enjoyable moving this around and thinking, oh yeah, that's an interesting little composition. It also means I can make use of some of these larger plain areas, because if I'm mixing them up with other squares, I'll probably want that contrast of having a few plainer ones. So a couple of minutes later, and I've got all these little squares. I've got these square card blanks. These are 13.5 centimetres square. So I'll just pick some random ones out. So yeah, I think 9 would be a good number. I'll sort these into groups of 9 now that sort of go with each other, and then make them up into cards. Here are the little groupings that I came up with. I ended up sticking mainly with similar colour schemes. I did debate on whether to use these adhesive little foam pad squares, put one in each corner of the squares to give a lifted up effect, but that would make the cards more expensive to post, because if our letters are even a little bit fatter than flat paper, then it costs more. So I think I use this Zig 2-way glue pen to stick them down with. I've been using this stuff for years from my card making days, and I think it's absolutely brilliant stuff. It's really, really strong. And then with this glue, you just need to hold it down for a moment with full contact. And then it's stuck really securely. I'm not going to measure these out, I'm just going to eyeball them. That looks about right. That's what the tip looks like if you're interested. So that's my first one. And it's fairly labour intensive, but it's actually really satisfying to use up the scraps that were going in the bin. And also to feel like yesterday's art session wasn't a total waste. So I'll get on now and assemble the rest of the cards. Here are the cards finished now. I quite like how they turned out. Just a bit of fun, really. And I've also made the rest of the scraps into cards as well now. So I'm really happy to have turned what was a frustrating art session yesterday into something that I like. I hope it sparked some ideas for you too. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye!